Hey yo, what's poppin'? What's good with you? I'm back at it. I'm back at it with some more Street Fighter 6. And the only reason why I'm playing today is because, well, I'm just trying to warm up before Sagat gets here. By the time, while when I was recording this video, Sagat wasn't out. I was just trying to get used to some of my bad matchups. Today, I'm just gonna show you guys some of the tough fights and some of the more interesting fights that I got into while I was playing Street Fighter. Yeah, and what can I say about this game other than people now are playing like bitches. They're very defensive, unless they're like higher ranked than you, then they're hyper aggressive. You know what I mean? And I get the higher ranks being, I guess, more aggro because they're confident in the buttons, but I don't know what happened. Like, people are just afraid to press, and walking back is popular now. And that turtle playstyle, like, don't get me wrong, it wins. You know what I'm saying? It definitely beat me up when I was like newer to the game, but now that I have more experience under my belt, all I can say is it's just genuinely annoying. Like, I wonder what happened to like all the players with like balls. You know what I'm saying, with gumption. Like, it's mildly annoying playing this game now because of that kind of style. I'd rather have this happen where like I'm literally getting floored on defense because I'm not making the right options than me having to chase down a fucking walk back fucking whiff punish fucking drone. You know what I mean? And then like you get them in the corner and then they start jumping out of the corner and they start jumping back. It's like, what are we doing here, man? And just it's just an annoying experience, man. But y'all know me. Y'all see me getting floored right now, but give me a second, man. I'm adjusting. I'm trying to figure out patterns right now because I'm not gonna lie, Kimberly is one of those characters where either she's really good or she's really bad, in my opinion. Like, it's a hit or miss. It's either you're getting all the right reads, or like she moderately knows how to mix you up on defense to where it's like, okay, I gotta adjust correctly to what she's doing. That one kick that you see her doing, that kind of like cartwheel kick, I think it might be her standing heavy kick. That button in the corner for me is just super oppressive. I don't know if I can drive impact it to where I'm yielded any benefit, and I'm a little bit apprehensive to try and challenge, right? But you guys see it here. I'm getting my pressure going. I'm realizing where I can press, and I'm on the board. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy type shit. But I feel like that's just the big crux of Street Fighter right now, is just learning when you can press. And I feel like the predominant characters I play, they all have short stubby buttons. And what they're good at is like interrupting neutral, right, with certain buttons. But like, I don't know what it is about Bandai, but like they just want to make characters that have long range buttons and make them hella uninteresting. Like Elena, don't get me wrong, she has like a style of play that I once was interested in getting into, but then I realized like how she plays, and it's just not like, it doesn't look fun at a high level, and when I play her at a low level, it's not even fun to learn. So it's like hard for me to get into. And then this recording is before Sagat came out, but as I'm talking to you now, I'm in the future, right? And I've fought Sagat, and the similarities between Sagat and Elena are uncanny in the way they play, right? Like, when you hear me talk about playing against Elena, I say, get past the spears and the game is pretty much easy, right? And Sagat, surprise, surprise, being a 7-foot, 8,000-pound motherfucker, has the same issue where, you get past the spears and you're good to go, right? But he has kind of like a caveat. His tiger knee, his heavy tiger knee, is like a crazy plus on block. Like crazy plus on block. To where it's damn near it's damn near like impossible to like, I don't want to say predict, but like you're not really trying to press buttons against Sagat really. You're really just kind of like trying to inch in without getting punched. Like for me as Bison, that's what I'm trying to do anyway. I'm just trying to inch in without getting punched. And you know, when you hit that defensive sequence, it gets annoying because he has this one standing elbow that he can link on defense 3 times, which is like fucking ridiculous, right? And then you get the EX, or not the EX, but the heavy Tiger Knee, right? And it's like, well, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying, on defense, right? I have not tested if the heavy Tiger Knee, or if the Tiger Knee in general is drive impactable, but it seems that way. I have to go up against the matchup a little bit more and like gain a little bit more confidence to want to press drive impact against that button. But in general, like the button just seems like super strong. What else? Like, you know, other than that, I feel like Sagat is an interesting character. He hits like a freight train off of like what I would think are like simple combos, which, you know, Bison, you could say Bison does similar things where he can do a lot of damage off of barely anything, and you know, there's an argument to be had there. But like, I don't know, like this is my first time ever playing against Sagat. This is my first time ever playing playing like Street Fighter as a whole, so like characters like Elena, Sagat, they're new to me, right? But like I'm starting to get this feeling like that if your character just has long limbs and good like long buttons, like the game is just easier for you. And the only time I feel like that isn't true is with Elena, because she has an annoying like I have to make you stand to do anything cool caveat to her, where it gives her a level of challenge that is, in my opinion, a little annoying. But like fighting against it, it's like, okay, I just gotta stay crouched and watch the one rolling overhead to continue my game, right? And then I'm straight. But yeah, like I'm so curious on what the community thinks of Sagat and Elena, even though originally people didn't want Elena in the game, and I was like a big proponent of Elena being in the game because tall, dark-skinned baddie, why wouldn't you want her in the game? Like, you know what I mean? And like, again, I'm not a big fan of capoeira. I've never been a fan of capoeira in any of the fighting games I played where capoeira is an option. But you know, I was down to try Elena, you know, even if she has a fighting style that I'm not particularly fond of. And that, you know, I always say you try things once, you know, and then, you know, form your opinion. But like, now that I've tried it, you know, I'm just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, just the way her kit works and everything is different. It's unique, but like, again, like, I don't know, man. It's not my cup of tea. Again, I'm looking really forward to Viper, just because she looks like she just has a lot of tools that I'll be interested in. Again, y'all know I hate, if y'all haven't, like, if this is your first time seeing my channel, go ahead, check out my other Street Fighter videos. I got a lot of other videos too. If you want to check those out, go ahead. But like, I don't like fireball characters. I feel like they're really annoying and they have like a lot of leeway to do a lot of bullshit. And the characters I enjoy playing so happen to counter fireball characters. So for me, C Viper just seems like a character I will enjoy more, because again, she has that kind of aggressive playstyle, and she has anti-fireball mechanic, right? That's also why I want Uriel to be in the game, so we have like a genuine anti-fireball character to like make these gal players that just sit back and throw booms and do the flash kick all day like they're fucking inventing the wheel, or like these fucking Ryus that will walk back and just spam Hadoken and wait for you to walk in, then DP you. You know what I mean? Like, I just want something to where fireball characters have to actually think about playing the game. And I say that to say, even though Sagat hasn't been out for very long, I can very easily tell like that's what what his game plan is going to be around, right? Is just fireball, fireball high, fireball low, fireball high, fireball low. Get you to try to jump in. His DP is really good. If he's ready to go in, he Tiger Knees is plus on block. If it's not drive impactable, then it's unstoppable. You know, he has really good far-reaching buttons. Normal. He has this really good kind of sneaky far range low that he can do while standing, which is really annoying. His crouching medium punch, I believe, is really good. He has some long crouching kicks as well. So it's, again, really oppressive, right? I don't feel like, in my opinion, I don't feel like fireball characters should have good long range buttons. Kind of like Gao's double kick sweep. Like, the fact that it's good and it has hit stun, in my opinion, it's just kind of like, okay, you finally get in on Gao and you're like blocking, or you're trying to figure out the correct option to do on block, and you block the one sweeping kick, and then but you can't react to the second one because the first one hit you, so you're stunned and the second one's guaranteed. Or it's like, you know, Gao's just kind of being like an abusive asshole, you know what I'm saying? You're getting in, every time you get in, he flash kicks you, right? And then you're trying to play defense, you know, he's trying to mix it up, whatever, and then all of a sudden he does the double kick, and it's like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? It's like, why is that so good? Or that, like, that forward kind of like push kick that he has, why is that even good? You know, why can't, like, characters who have to really work to get in, kind of like a Bison or like a Cammy, you know, I think of Marisa too, but, you know, she has a super armor, and that can kind of be oppressive in its own way and get through some of the problems that I am stating in its own way, right? Inherently, just because, again, it's super armor. But yeah, you know, like, and I haven't even talked about, like, Rashid. Rashid has some annoying fireball bullshit that, like, again, it's not it is kind of a big thing, because you think the fireballs are just a mini version of the category 5, right? He's level 2. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, again, like, and Rashid has some really good far range buttons as well. Why is it that all these fireball, like, reliant characters, or characters that have fireballs, have these good far ranging buttons, but the characters that have to work to get in don't? You know, I mean, like, you saw it right now. Cammy, she has the medium kick, but it's not that good. There are better buttons. They nerfed Bison's variant of the standing medium kick that Cammy has to shit, to where it's not as good anymore, and you can't really poke from far, you know? And it's just like, why? Like, I don't understand. Like, if it's like a fireball meta or whatever, like, I guess I get it, you know? Obviously, if it's that meta, you know, then I guess we're just stuck in that meta. But, like, I feel like it's been like this forever. Like, JP, another character that has a lot of projectiles, good far range buttons, and a teleport. Why does he need to have an unpunishable teleport, like a pseudo unpunishable teleport? You know what I mean? Like, why does he get to have all of these, like, oppressive, like, far range and mid range neutral buttons? You know what I'm saying? I get it. He's supposed to be hard to get in on, but impossible to get in on, damn near impossible to get in on, is like, I don't know. I don't think it's like a fun thing to play a fighting game and be like, I lost to the guy shooting a gun. Kind of like how when in Guilty Gear, Happy Chaos was really strong. Like, that's kind of like the vibe I get from playing Street Fighter sometimes. Like, and then you couple that with the bitch play that is being introduced now, where people walk back a lot and, like, really force, well, for me anyway, for my personal experience, right, I get a lot of these, like, being forced aggression, and if they get the lucky one round win, they fucking leave, and it's just kind of like they're really just, like, rage baiting the entire, like, or for fucking me, at least, they're rage baiting me. I don't know if they play like this for everyone. I don't watch all their games, but you know what I'm saying. For me anyway, they're rage baiting, trying to, like, ruin the game, and it's just kind of like, bro, you don't even play the game correctly. Like, you're not even playing. Well, they're playing the game, but are they really? You know what I mean? Like, it's just so weird. And it's like, if they could do that, but I can't fucking stomp somebody in the ground as Bison forever and get infinite plus frames. You know what I mean? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it happen. Yeah, but she's gonna have to feel all this. You know, gotcha. So now you gotta feel the pain while I make your blood rain. But yeah, you know what? Like, you know, I don't know, man. How'd y'all feel about Evo though? I heard, well, I heard that Mena fucking won it. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, Mena is one of my favorites. You know what I'm saying? For me, I feel like the word GOAT is being so used. I just want to say Mena is a great player. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely a top 5 best of all time now, because like how many people have won multiple like Evos back to back, you know what I mean? Like, you know, who has that accolade? And if Mena is like the first or one of the few, like one of the other 2 people who've done it, right? I don't know exactly like how many people have done this, but I know Mena has won multiple times, and he's won multiple times in the same year. That definitely does give credence to excellence, right? And so I feel like Mena should be like unequivocally and uncontested top 5. But like, do you put him? And see, I feel like when you talk about like, say like, I don't wanna say the wrong name and then people get mad at me. Like a Daigo, you know, the old heads, the OGs in the scenes. Like, you could call him the GOAT, but like maybe just calling them the OGs, and that's why we fuck with them, would make better sense. Because if you see them right now, are they still pushing them same numbers that they were doing when in the games that made them like the GOAT? You know what I mean? Suffice it to say, what I'm trying to get at is, say it's like Street Fighter 4. Okay, there's gonna be the GOATs in Street Fighter 4, and if those GOATs still play in Street Fighter 6 now, then they should just be OGs, right? They should just be OGs. And you know, you don't disrespect your OG. You know, you just say, okay, I'm gonna give him his respect. He's fucking godlike at this fucking game. You know what I'm saying? He does lose, but he's old now. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like also the characters they play, in my opinion, if say the character they play or they lose against is kind of like bullshit, then I don't feel like the loss should really be that big of a deal. Like, again, like Ryu is kind of like, we all can agree, Ryu is kind of like overtuned, made for like 5-year-olds who want to drool on themselves and feel good about playing a game, right? Ryu does not require a lot of complex thinking to perform correctly. Like, kind of like I feel like Marisa would take more brain power to function at a high level than Ryu. I'm gonna be honest. JP, another character, you don't need a lot of brain function to play at a high level. Like, you just don't. You don't need to. Some people play him at a high level and show some immaculate things, but like, you can't put them on the same level as like an Ed. You know what I'm saying? Ed's a really fucking technical ass character. I'm trying to think of another like a Cammy, another really technical ass character that I feel like people can't play like super easy and like understand the like and get high damage super freaking easily. But Ryu, you pick up Ryu day one and you might be doing some crazy. You could do some scumbaggery. Like, again, like Gao. You can't say Gao's fucking the most difficult character to play. You're lying to yourself. In my opinion, right? Anyway, but I'm trying to remember what made me go to this rant. Shoot. I say that all to say basically that like a GOAT and OG losing to like, say, a person playing a really easy character in a mildly effective way to where they're playing like a character that takes a little bit more experience, or like they have like a caveat to them that make them harder. Like, for instance, Akuma having lower health, Cammy having to have more interactions to win. You know what I'm saying? You know, those again would take more from the player to succeed in. So, like, for them to lose to characters that don't take as much, I feel like shouldn't shouldn't be a knock on their credibility or on their respect. You feel me? And like, I don't know. I feel like that should be like highlighted, especially for me. I already knew that Blanca was a problem. I've been saying Blanca's a problem, especially when they're a high mobility Blanca. Your eyes, you're gonna just be focusing on where this nigga is flying every 5 seconds. It's like, it's not like Blanca is a mess of a thing trying to control. And like, again, I was literally waiting for the day that freaking Mena was like, yeah, I won this bitch again. You know what I'm saying? Because Blanca's just one of them characters. Like, legitimately, he's just one of them characters that just cause problems. Like, and I don't know of anyone else who pioneers Blanca harder than Mena. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, the guy who's playing this unhinged, unchained, literal monster, electric monster, is gonna fucking stomp. Like low-key. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, it's like, am I surprised? No, I would have loved to see Punk and him fight in the finals, but you know what I'm saying? Cammy's a tough ass character. You know, I don't know where Punk fell out. I think he fell out near the top 8, but you know what I'm saying? You know what? Like, you know, my favorite people are making it to top 10. Like, how far are y'all gonna make it? I feel like if I make it out of pools, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's just me though. Like, but what do you guys feel about like pros, tournament runs, like how Evo wins and all this shit, you know what I'm saying? And I also heard that there are gonna be multiple Evos in a year, like 4. And if Mena wins, say another one Evo, you gotta say he's top 2. How many people are winning multiple Evos back to back like that in like a 1 year time frame? Okay. It can be a little contentious if you say like it's the same meta, no one's changing up the meta, and you know the character he plays, Blanca, is like super unhinged right now in the meta. There can be an argument for that, right? If the meta doesn't change and he wins in the same meta he won in the last one, then it like it's a consistent thing. There's no real outlier to show adaptability and change other than them releasing a new character or them changing the meta to where it forces them to either play differently or play something new, right? Then if he changes up his character and he still wins, then it's like, okay, he might be like top 2, top 1. Like, you have to give the guy his respect, right? Because he's doing something no one else has done in a quicker time span with, say, handicaps if they do change up the meta to either challenge players to switch off characters to try different characters, right? Like, for me, again, I could see a very skilled Ed winning Evo, because again, when that character gets sauce, it is a fine dining experience. You hate it on the opposite end because it ain't your food, you know what I'm saying? But like, when you're just like watching it and you really just show, like, you really just, again, giving the player the respect of the combos, like the difficulty, you know, the nuance and shit like that. Like, I could really just see Ed pulling off something crazy. Same thing with Bison, but Bison's a little different. Like, Bison is more like really dominating, controlling the experience and blowing them up with all the power. But you know, and again, but when I talk about Bison specifically, y'all hear me say it all the time. Make the install he has a legitimate function in his game plan. If he has that install a legitimate thing that he could do whenever, like, after getting 3 bombs off or like 2 bombs off, you know what I mean, and you get access to a defensive DP, you know what I mean, like you could even tie it into him getting, like, him remembering his memories through the power of Psycho and fucking, you know what I'm saying, unlocking his true potential for a brief moment. It don't gotta be, well, I think if they do this, the sack should carry on through the next round like none. But again, like, it's all wishful thinking, you know. Bandai could just hear me say this and start laughing, being like, Baisu will never be this good. You know what I'm saying? Because we have a specific vision, and that vision is this is going to be a permanent gimmick. It's only for the time when you're playing games with like you're obviously the more skilled player and you know about this, but you're playing with like your 5-year-old cousin who doesn't even know how to press buttons or walk forward at all, and so you're gonna just press this bomb, do this taunt that makes you press like 100 buttons at one time and wait 5 seconds for this fucking ultimate DP install to activate. It doesn't even really give you any damage buffs other than a DP, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's like saying Manon's command grabs don't give her medals to increase her damage. It's like, you know, but like, or it's saying Manon's medals do give her extra damage, but you have to do a taunt that takes 15 seconds to do. You know what I mean? Like, alright. You know what I mean? Like, alright. Like, whatever, I guess. But, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I just think about stuff like that. But I'm still excited for the future of Street Fighter, though there are some things in the game that are kind of, like, weird, confusing in my mind. I'm just more curious on, like, say, the newer characters and how they're going to spice up the game. And hopefully the devs and like Bandai as like a whole, they don't just let it be one bland note of Fireball characters really like just running the shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would like it to be where there are meta changes, and the meta change obviously there are specific like clear metas, right? There are a lot of Fireball characters. There are a lot of characters that do well against fireballs, and then there are grapplers, right? Your grappler niche, right? In my mind, there's only like maybe like 3 characters really, but one of them is kind of like an outlier. Manon and what's his name? Zangief, obviously, right? But I also throw Lilia in there because Lilia does have her command grab is actually like a core fundamental to her like higher level game plan that again, if they were to increase and make better grapplers and people with command grabs, I feel like instead of just focusing on Zangief to where he's like the sole king of the grapplers, you make the other people who have those command grabs also better, and that can maybe contest him to be like equally as good or better grapplers. Like, for me, the fact that saying Zangief is better than Manon is like, what's the purpose of Manon then? You know what I'm saying? Like, personally, I feel like Manon is kind of like a newer style to the grappling idea, and I feel like, because if you really think about it, the newer characters in this game are kind of fading into obscurity to the old guard, to the OGs, to OG characters. And I thought Street Fighter 6 was supposed to be like a homage to the old shit while also bringing in a bunch of new shit in, right? Again, Chun-Li's apprentice, when Luke first got introduced, Luke was introduced as a person who was gonna outshine Ryu. That was like, I'm pretty sure, his whole like marketing scheme. What happened to Luke now? He's in obscurity. You know, Jamie is a character who is an alcoholic. Literally, his character is a gigantic alcoholic. He needs drinks to fucking thrive in the game. You know what I'm saying? You know, Manon, again, a grappler that's outshined by the old guard. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying remove OG characters from the game that people love to see them in. Again, I think the OGs should just be a fundamental thing that are just in the game. Like, I don't think a lot of fighting game players would hate a large roster. I don't think any real like gamer in that regard would hate a large roster. A large roster means more choice. A large roster means more content, you know, depending on how you see it. And like, I don't know, making me pay. Look at him. Look at what he did. He started teabagging me. I'm stop right here, guys. Don't ever fucking teabag me. I'll tell you this right now. I will take it. I will take it all. I will take it all, and I will make sure you get nothing. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Now watch as I shit on this guy. But anyway, back to what I was saying before I got irritated. I feel like I feel like having the old guard just intrinsically in the game, if that's what your goal is, they should just be here without me having to pay $5 for them, right? And you know, their style of play to the untrained eye might be new, but to the old heads, it's like, man, they haven't really changed much at all. You should have just introduced them naturally, right? And then maybe make these new characters that are way more enticing, that maybe add new mechanics to the game. Like, again, you bring super armor in, but there's no characters that crush super armor, you know what I'm saying? You bring different anti-fireball characters in. Maybe you bring a different form of fireball character in, like with Oro, and kind of like how with the rubber man, I forget his name off the top of my head. Fuck, I can't remember it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Yoga fire. I can't remember his name, but like their fireballs have a bounce to it, right? And they bounce off the ground. You know, that those are kind of like, again, unique personal choices that make a character shine more, right? And you know, you just make these characters intrinsic to the game. You know, you buy the game vanilla, and they have all the OGs that everybody gives a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to make it to where, okay, we're not gonna give you every single OG. Okay, then what OGs do people predominantly want to see? I know Oro is like a big thing. I would love to see Oro in this game. I'm not gonna cap. Oro is a big thing. I feel like Bison's a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Obviously Ryu and Ken. Chun-Li is a big thing. Cammy's a big thing. Juri. I mean, like, so long as you have Shadowloo, you're gonna have to roll in all the Shadowloo characters, right? If you see Juri, everyone's gonna be like, well, where the fuck is Bison? You know what I'm saying? Even though he might just be an old dude, but like, again, you bring Bison. If you don't bring Bison in as he is right now in this game, again, he was obsessed with finding a new body. So there are ways to introduce Bison again as a different character in a different playstyle, but still keep some of the homages, right? Like, I remember before he got released, there were leaks about him being a girl, right? And don't get me wrong, I would fuck with that. I don't mind, like how they turned Heihachi into fucking Reina. I fucking love it. Reina's my main character in Tekken 8. You know what I'm saying? I fucking love it. And that's how I kind of want to learn Kenpachi too. It's because of that. But if y'all notice, I'm still mad about that Ken DPing me. So I'm giving this Ken the fucking work every time I can. Anyway, but this Ken is saucy. If you guys notice. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? And you know, making these unique changes, and all you have to do to keep Bison's personality the same is really the Psycho Crusher, right? And some sort of bomb tech, right? And I feel like, you know, splicing that in with some different like styles, some different weapons in his arsenal to make it fresh and new, I'm pretty sure would be welcomed. And you know what I'm saying? Like OGs like Sagat doesn't have to change. You know what I'm saying? Sagat's the first villain, so you gotta show him his respect, even though he's not a character I personally enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with fucking E Honda and fucking Zangief. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to change too much. You know, they don't really have to change at all. They can play the same, and people will probably still love it. You know what I'm saying? But like, the whole crux of this conversation is about, why do I have to pay for something that should just be intrinsically in this game? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not new, they're not adding anything to the story. You know, we're just going back in time. And don't get me wrong, like, going back in time can be cool, again, if you're gonna do the character up in a different way, in a new way, in a refreshing way. But or like bringing back somebody really fucking old, like, again, Viper, but like changing her up completely. You know what I'm saying? But like, again, Viper's not a new face. We already know what Viper potentially is gonna play like, right? I had a lot of ideas, right? And especially since she did some electric stuff in her sneak leak, I assumed that she was gonna be a mix of another character that was in Street Fighter V, but that's yet to be seen until gameplay is shown. But you know, suffice it to say, you know, these characters have been in Street Fighter forever. Like, when are we gonna see these newer characters? Don't get me wrong, in this in this next installment of new characters, there's this one lady in the release that looks like she could be new to the landscape of Street Fighter. I've never seen her before, but I'm curious to learn more about her, right? I believe she's wearing all white, and I think she's right above Viper. And, you know, I'm curious to understand more about her, but at the same time, you know, is it going to be something unique? Is it going to be something interesting everybody's going to want to learn? But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it on that, right? And with his life expiring, that is going to show the end of the video, you know. And for him, it's game over, but this conversation doesn't have to be over. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.